most interesting male character would be Falstaff in Henry the Fifth, Henry the Fourth, Part One, which is the one that I have. It's a history, but there's an awful lot of comedy in it as well when you got Falstaff and Hal. Okay, most obsessed with language is Love and Labor's Lost. Most characters to keep track of is Comedy of Errors, two sets of twins plus others. The most intricate plot, I would say, is Cymbeline. Cymbeline is really one of my favorites. And Sheila Proctor told me that Cymbeline is coming back into favor now, and people are doing Cymbeline. It is
I think
wild.
it's in New York now.
Is it really?
I think it is.
Yeah, wow. Easiest to follow would be Much Ado, the one that we had here. Most adult would be Measure for Measure. The most determined woman is in All's Well That Ends Well. That's Helena. She's going after her man, and that's another really strange end. He's like, I don't want anything to do with you. Right up to the end, and the king says, Bertram, we'll take care of you and see that you get a title and all this kind of stuff. And he says, oh, I really love you. And the play is over. And it's like, so I've got a little something as a director that I have the actors in the cast on stage that they themselves are like, what? And then I've had Bertram, he goes to the audience and he says, that's what Shakespeare wrote. What can I do about it? And then Helena comes down and says, it's okay. So there are some director's choices in the scripts that I've made that other directors put. And in some of these footnotes it says, yeah, this passage could mean this, or it could mean this, or it could mean that. I thought for the reader, they don't hear that. So I just chose one of them, and I went with the one interpretation. Again, so that you can go Shakespeare on the double. You get from the beginning to the end, and you have a good time, just like his audiences had time. Not that his audiences didn't themselves have some problems, because Shakespeare was making up words and so on and so forth, so it's not like they understood every word. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, Gene, I was just going to say, I would say that Shakespeare's probably would be very glad that you're making him more relevant today.
It would make him a little more money. I don't know, like it's making me.
But you never, you always use iambic pentameter, don't you?
Whenever there's iambic pentameter, whenever he breaks iambic pentameter and kind of goes into a line that's like 7 beats or 6 beats, I say, okay, I'll go with that. And so.
But to me, if you take the pentameter away, you take away the poetry. For me, if I'm reading it, I read it always aloud.
Yeah.
So I
Oh,
can get it
good
that way.
suggestion. Read it aloud. Which
That
reminds
makes a
me,
difference.
interested in participating in table reading
Oh, that would be fun.
with pizza at our house. Jane, what's
She said that sounds great.
We've done
The
that
merrier.
before. We've done that before, and I've had, you've been a part of these table readings that we've had at our house, and we've read through probably 4 or 5 scripts. And some of them we did before I started doing the self-publishing too. So it was a way of sort of hearing whether I'd made some good choices or not. So if you would like
Fine.
for me to get in touch with you, and we can set up a table reading of one of these scripts. If we did Cymbeline, we'd probably have to serve you supper, because it's a long trip. That'd be fine. Anyway, that if you're interested there, do that. You see on this sheet, just in case you kind of, in all of the talk and everything, you lost track, here's a list of the 11, and Tempest is coming. It also says here how, if you want to talk to some of your friends in other towns or whatever, here is the way your friends would get access where the plays are available to buy, other than here at the bookstore. I've said here that All's Well is the one that has the text. And then if you have questions for me, if you want me to come over to your house and give a reading of a particular passage, there's your contacts. Okay. More questions?
When will you produce the manual for the series, which is what you talked to us about, which seems important?
Maybe in 10 years, or maybe 96.
Project.
Because, Ann and I did a play called The Gin Game, and it was about two old folks in a retirement home. And here we are, Ann.
You were younger than
Yeah,
that.
here we are.
And I'm older than you.
Look at her. Look at her.
Wow.
She's
No,
growing younger
fabulous.
every day. It's amazing. Amazing. Okay. Yes.
On the issue of iambic pentameter, practitioners, the writers who employ iambic pentameter, do variants in part because it's not so much syllable driven, although it is, I mean, in Shakespeare it's mostly syllable driven, but it's beat driven.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're varying the beat, there are reasons for doing it. Milton did it. There's a new reading of Emily Dickinson that moves away from the notion of hymn meter. Common meter is something that she used a lot of, and a shift into thinking about it as a ballad stanza, which is actually the same beat rhythm as common meter. You know that adage about Dickinson that you can sing all of Dickinson's The Yellow Rose of Texas or the Gilligan's Island theme or so forth. They're all ballad stanzas. And so the variations that occur are variations that have to do with a rhythm that is beat driven as opposed to a syllable count,
Yeah.
which is I think why the best Shakespearean actors understand that it's spoken in a way that makes sense and spoken as if it's commonly spoken in that way. There is an elevated sense to it. Also, iambic pentameter is the closest to the rhythm of English speech,
Exactly.
period.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm a Dickinsonian. I'm not a Shakespearean. The reading of Dickinson that focuses on the ballad beats is to me a better way of understanding the sound world of her poetry.
And can you unretire so we can go to her classes over when you
And
Well-
I'm available for senior groups and like Jean, home visits. I do book clubs.
The interesting thing is, if you really want to be a Shakespeare scholar, then you want to go to the Folger Library site, and you want to see their 180 podcasts that they have called Shakespeare Unlimited. I went to one of them the other day, and it was on translating Shakespeare, and it was translating Shakespeare into Oriental languages. And they said in Korean, there is no such thing as iambic pentameter. You can't do it, and the structure of that language doesn't allow.
Wow.
And they said in Japanese, there's no such thing as double entendre. So, the translators into those languages have some challenges. I've been trying to find out from someone that the translations into German or French or anything, do they translate them into Old German and Old French or whatever, or is it more modern? And do audiences in France go to Shakespeare productions and is it more accessible for them than it is for us going to see Shakespeare? I don't know the answer to those questions, but
Maybe they don't even do Shakespeare.
oh, they do, all over the world, all over, yeah.
You
Okay,
can
any more
see it
questions?
in,
I don't know what time it
in
is,
opera
but
translations.
Don's he's gotta go to bed.
No, it's lunch.
Lunch first, and then a nap. Yes?
I've got a question. So I haven't been shy with telling Gene that I really want him to do a drama, a tragedy. And I'm just wondering. I know that you have this platform that there's certain things that you don't want to mess with to
Yeah.
be or not to be, and Romeo and Juliet. But is there a title amongst the tragedies that you get requested to do? And if so, would you consider doing a tragedy at some point in the future at all?
Well, Brian is not saying what he really wants to say. That is that he wants me to do Othello. He wants to do it. Brian loves the dark things. That's why.
No
That's
pooey
why
too.
his partner over at Audrey Kell does the light things. He does the
Heavy.
Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
He did last year.
Fabulously.
And I think some saw it. Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. But he goes, so he's considering this year, he's considering Sweeney Todd.
Wow. Fun.
That's a goodie.
And if he doesn't do Sweeney Todd, because he figures maybe I don't have personnel, I've said to him, do cabaret. I've had some good
That's
experiences
very
with
relevant.
cabaret.
I just saw Cabaret in Michigan. My daughter was in
Oh,
I did the role she did 46 years.
Wow.
Well, she just won like a little Oscar. They give her an Oscar.
what role? What
But
role?
anyhow, she played Fräulein Schneider.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course.
She's
Yeah.
But anyhow, it's so relevant. I could not believe how relevant that play is. So you never know,
Yeah, we don't,
especially today.
let's not go into the politics, but
Yeah,
I think I
that's
know what you
right,
mean
it's
by
so
relevant. Yeah. Okay,
Thank you.
so any signing that I need